Jupiter, I see you looking at me, baby boy. Jupiter's over there just staring at me like, he does this thing where he looks to the side and he looks so fat. I'm not in my normal filming space, you guys. I'm actually at my parents' house. I'm just Jupiter. I'm gonna show you guys what he looks like.
Oh my god, that little fatty. Look cute.
Okay. Here we go. Hi guys! Welcome to Girl Chat number 3. If you haven't seen number 1 and 2, I will link them down below, but I'm so excited. First of all, that you guys are loving this series. Second of all, that you are being so open with me. I ask you guys always on Instagram to send over any of your questions that are somewhat taboo or should just be normalized, or things that maybe you're afraid to ask your own mom, your own sister. I'm your sister today. The idea behind this series is really that I'm just your friend, here to be open. I am not an expert, I'm just a friend. I'm a 26-year-old with a little bit of life experience that I want to share with you, and vice versa. Like if there's things that I'm going through in life, I always go to you guys. So for today's topics, we have periods, fertility and getting pregnant, insecurities, mental health, beauty standards, sexy time, religion, and sexuality. Why are periods important to talk about? Periods are such a normal thing. When I was growing up, I would hide my period products. I would be very embarrassed to kind of tell the teacher like, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. By the way, that's a thing in the school system that I don't quite agree with, which is like you have to ask for permission to go to the freaking bathroom. My dad would always tell me that if I have to go, you gotta go. Why is it an icky topic at times? Why is it that as girls, we also make it seem like, ugh, you're on your period? It's so normal. Everybody goes through it. It means that you are healthy. It's a healthy thing to get your period. Trying to hide it and just feeling ashamed about it does no one good. It is such a beautiful part of your body. I know it might not be the greatest thing to experience, but it just goes to show your body is healthy and it's preparing itself for hopefully being able to have kids. I think we should normalize it, but I'd love to know what you guys think down below in the comments. How to manage mood swings. For me personally, I just started this thing. It's called soul planning, where I sit down with myself every single week on a Sunday and I go through the things that I want to do to take care of myself. So it doesn't mean that I'm like maintaining myself, because there's a difference between self-maintenance and self-care. For me, self-maintenance is like I want to shave my legs, for instance. Whereas self-care is more like I want to take a bath and read a book and just relax and unwind. Going back to the whole soul planning thing, it has been so healthy, because one thing I've been doing too that my life coach taught me, whenever I know I'm about to have my period, because I will have mood swings, I will literally block out those 2 days in my calendar, which is usually the day before my period and the day of my period. Those are my 2 toughest days in terms of like my emotions and just, I'm about to get my period.
And I just want to cry talking about it.
Well, I will not take any meetings. I will not schedule anything during those 2 days, because I know that I'm not at my best self. I'm not optimal. So I highly recommend that. So do you use a period app? And if so, what's the best one? Only used one, and that is Clue. I've been using it for years. It's so great. I think it is so important to track your period, obviously for many purposes, but you know what's so crazy is like, I always used to be like, oh my God, I hope I'm not pregnant. I hope I'm not pregnant type of girl. And now I'm like, I hope I'm pregnant. I hope I'm pregnant. Things are quickly shifting for me. So I track my period every single month. I've been very good. So I've been getting it on the 6th of every month. Another really great thing that I like about this app is you can not only track the amount of bleeding, but also your pain levels, how you're feeling, are you emotional, sensitive, the amount of sleep, if you've been having sexy time, and then just your energy levels, and there's so many more things. I highly recommend the app in case you are not yet tracking your period. Are you trying to have babies, and what do you know about fertility? Dennis and I are currently not trying to have babies. I have recently just become more afraid of pregnancy, not because of the actual birthing process. It still scares the shit out of me. It's more because I've noticed so many of my friends have a really hard time getting pregnant. It's not uncommon to have fertility issues, and it's also not uncommon to have miscarriages, and I've kind of seen a little bit of both. What I'm doing right now is I'm preparing my body for a baby. So that is where I'm at with my fertility journey. I have just started looking into prenatals. If you have any recommendations, please let me know down below. Just recently, I'm about to go to a gynecologist. The fact that I have never had a pap smear concerns me. No one ever told me to go get that done. Obviously talk to your doctor and such, but I believe by the time that you are 21, you should be getting a pap smear. If you become sexually active, of course you should be checking. I'm going to vlog my pap smear experience over on the vlog channel, so if you're interested, let me know down below and I can do that for you. So what do I know about fertility? I have really been in tune with like my birth control and stuff like that. I actually do the whole natural method. I take my temperature, I check my cervical fluid, fluid. I feel like it's incredible because I actually know my body. And so I wanted to share with you guys a little bit about like detecting ovulation with cervical fluid. So usually how you check your cervical fluid is like you stick your fingers up your vagina. So you're not ovulating when it's dry or it's sticky. When you're close to ovulating, it's actually wet and watery. You might notice that kind of discharge in your panties. As far as when ovulation may be coming, it's almost like a light lotion. It's kind of creamy feeling. And then when you are ovulating, which means it's the most prime optimal time to have babies, people, it's when you're super wet and it's like stretchy and it kind of resembles a egg white. That's pretty much what it looks like. Yes. Thoughts on stretch marks, dark spots? Do you have them? What do you do? Yes, honey, I got them. I don't have crazy stretch marks, but I do remember when I was fluctuating between my weight, I had a ton on my butt and I was getting really insecure about like going to the pool and such. But then one day I sat down and I noticed my cousin also had them. Then I noticed my other cousin also had them. It was like, huh, this is kind of normal. I really just applaud women that kind of show their body raw as it is. I think it's empowering. I think it's beautiful. And as far as dark spots, I have always been insecure. I think I saw Jackie Ina talk about this in one of her Instagrams. She was wearing a bikini and her private area is a bit darker and mine actually, my thighs on the sides is a little bit darker. Whenever I'd wear shorts, I would feel so insecure about Dennis just like seeing that. And I remember one day I was like, well, things were getting sexy. Let's just be honest. It was heating up, yeah? And I was a little bit embarrassed to open my legs. Oh my God, this is so awkward. And I just remember him saying how he liked that. Like he thought it was sexy and it was nice. So I'll just say, get yourself people that love and admire you, and then you also can start to love and admire yourself. Where is your mental health at? And what has been your mental health journey until now? Girl, never, ever, ever struggled this much. Social media has made things worse. When I talk to a lot of my high school friends, they're all shocked that I do what I do. They're all like, what? Natalie was so shy in school. She barely like talked. I'm still a shy person, but just like they would never have expected that of me. I did have social media, and then there was a 5-year gap from high school to college where I dropped everything. I was the happiest. I'm not even kidding. Like the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I think a lot of that just goes to show that when you are online, you're allowing all these images and things to kind of feed into your subconscious and feed into your mind. Sometimes images can make you jealous without you even really knowing. They can make you feel behind in life. It can make you feel like you're not doing enough. Like there's always this hustle culture on social media that is really unhealthy. Other times they can inspire you and bring out something in you that you never knew was there. So there's a positive and negative. So how I've dealt with my mental health, because of course my job is being online and also doing all of this, is I have boundaries. And I have boundaries for everything in life. That, my people, is the magic word to everything. You need to have boundaries with your mama. Yes, I said it. With people that work with you, with your coworkers, with your husband, with absolutely everything. And so what does a boundary look like? Let's say I've been working all day. I work a 9 to 5. That's what I do now. Even though this job is technically a 24-hour job, I choose to not do that anymore because I need that time to rest. And rest for me is a priority, and it's something that is my boundary. Let's say an incredible brand deal comes on. It's 5:01 and an incredible brand deal, yeah, gets into my inbox. The turnaround rate is, I don't know, 4 days, because sometimes it's ridiculous. And so I sit with myself and I say, first of all, it's 5 o'clock. I'm not checking this email until the next morning. That is setting a boundary for myself because I know that I need that time to rest, to just enjoy my life, to be present, and then to deal with that tomorrow. When someone's breaking my boundaries, what they would do is they would text me, or maybe they would send me something to hurry me up to make things more urgent than what they really are. Establishing good boundaries not only makes you a happier person, it makes you more respectable because you know what you want, you know what you need, which is the most important thing, because sometimes as women, we are so selfless. We don't think about ourselves. We put everyone else first. I believe it's Oprah Winfrey or maybe Maya Angelou that says this. You cannot give with your cup half empty. You just can't. You need to be full. Fill yourself up, set those boundaries. It's so, so important. Do you use beauty filters? What are your thoughts on them? Are they adding to the problem of unrealistic beauty standards? Wow. Sammy, you are woke. I do use beauty filters, and I will tell you this. When I don't use a beauty filter now, I noticed this about a week ago because I started using that Sasha one. It makes your cheeks look super high, your lips look plump, and your eyes are big. You look really pretty. And I started using that, and then I noticed that I didn't want to not use it anymore. So I was getting insecure now of my face looking the way a normal ass face is supposed to look. I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like this. So I actually thought about this question, and I would say yes. There's a part of it that is just like Facetune. There's a part of it where everybody's trying to look perfect. So history repeats itself. It's like on magazine covers, women were getting photoshopped, then other women were feeling insecure, setting unrealistic expectations. Even myself, let me tell you something. One of the reasons why I felt I always needed bigger boobs was because Victoria's Secret models had gigantic boobs. They were tiny little framed girls with big boobs. And I remember one time after I got my breast implants, looking at Candace Swanepoel, a really beautiful blonde Victoria's Secret model, out on the streets. It was like a paparazzi picture, and she didn't have a lot of boobs. And I was shocked. And then I was like, you know, going through this hiatus, I was like, oh my God, Candace Swanepoel, like what do her boobs look like? You know, things that normal girls do. And I realized that it was just the illusion of Photoshop. It was also the illusion of the bra. Just be careful when it comes to that stuff. Like, don't set a standard that's so unrealistic that you literally cannot reach it. I think that's just so unhealthy. How do you think differently about people with a lot of followers and people without? I don't think you are defined by your numbers or by your success. I don't define myself that way. It is not the identity that I've chosen for myself. There was a time and point in time where I did combine my identity with my success. It was the saddest time that I've ever been in, because guess what? Success is like this, and then it's like this, and then it's like that, and then it's like that. And you just can't keep this up as a human being. I define myself by the way that I treat myself and the way that I treat other people. That is the way I define others as well. I think it is sad that a lot of people put so much emphasis into numbers. And I think it's even sadder when you go to like social media events, because I've been behind the curtain where they are so empty. I don't think you guys would even like the people you follow if you really knew what they were like. Obviously, I'm not here to define everyone. It's a nasty part of the business that I'll never be okay with. So going back to that, just don't define yourself by your numbers. How to be more confident around others. I feel like confidence is something that you learn through time. I can't sit here and say that I am the most confident person and that I don't have my own struggles and insecurities. I think I'm always working towards making myself better. And a big part of that is looking up to others that are more confident, people that are accomplished in other ways of life, like not just because you're famous or not just because you have a lot of money, but because they are giving back to the community or they're having impact. Like I was watching this incredible show on Netflix. It's Shine On by Reese Witherspoon. It was all about highlighting incredible women. I can't tell you, I was there on a Sunday, like in my PJs, and I just felt so powerful. Just looking at all of these incredible women, Dolly Parton, America Ferrera, Pink, Reese herself. Confident people immune confidence. It's almost like magnetic. You want it and you kind of get a little bit of it. Surround yourself with confident people, whoever you think that is. If you don't have anyone around you that is, surround yourself with good books, with good leaders, with good podcasts, with people that only speak great things. What are some things you didn't realize until getting married? That is an interesting question. I've been 3 years with Dennis. I guess one thing that I really appreciate now in our relationship is routine is really important. And not always, like we are spontaneous, but structuring your day a little bit is really important, especially when you're living with somebody else, because we could be working. Another thing I think is time apart from each other is so important. We obviously did have a lot of that time during our dating. Oh God, I don't know how to answer this question. I've only been married for 3 years. I've realized a lot of like just little things about him and also about myself. I don't know, I'm curious for you guys, like if you can tell me down below what are some things that you didn't realize until you got married. For us, it's really important to just have a day where we are not scheduled to do anything. We don't even have to interact with each other, but we just like we're coexisting. That's like one day in the week where we do that, and it's so healthy because it's like we are both fueling ourselves with what we each individually need. So like Dennis will game, I will read. Dennis will go get coffee, I will go walk Jupiter. Dennis will go exercise and run, I will do a bath. So it's like those things that they're so important. Do you have any tips on how to be a better wife or partner in a relationship? That is so sweet. Yes. Tone of voice is very important. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. Having boundaries for yourself, knowing what you need, when you need it. If you guys are arguing and you're like, I really need a moment, will you give me that? I need it. So I think that's very important. Then I would say Jesus and God. I think there's a beautiful quote in the Bible. God is that third thread. I may be so wrong. Pop it up here, Alejandro. Pop it up here. Bringing God into the relationship is so important. So like for Dennis and I, what we do is we pray every single night. Dennis never grew up in a very religious household. I'm trying to do my best to create that foundation because it's something that I really prioritize and I want for my kids. And I want my husband to be a figure as well for them. If he's not gonna do that, then I will. Are there any questions you're still scared to ask your mom? Oh my God, I'm so bad. The first one that came up, yeah. That's about it, honestly. How has peer pressure changed as you got older? I will say, I was never that big into peer pressure. I will say that. I've always very much had like a strong mindset when it came to things. I never wanted to just look cool just to appease, you know, get that approval from my friends. I was just never that kind of person, and I think that's a big thing that I'd love to raise my kids with as well. You do not need to do things to validate yourself to other people. That's a huge one. What do you guys think? Has it changed as you've gotten older? I mean, I think you're more secure in the person that you are, and people are less likely to manipulate you, or even if they are manipulating you, you are smarter as you're older, so peer pressure isn't really like a big thing. Have you ever questioned your sexuality? I actually did. And I think this is a very normal thing for a lot of people. Obviously, I grew up as a Christian. There's some questions here about that. Like, what do you think about homosexuality as a Christian? I have a lot of gay friends, lesbian people in my life, even family members, and I love them. I don't define people by like labels or anything like that. If they're great, that's what I love about them. There was a time I remember I called my cousin and I was like, I think I was like in 7th grade. I was like, Liza, have you ever thought about like kissing a girl? She's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I wonder if I'm like lesbian or something, or like if there's something there. She's like, yeah, you know, me too. Never like pursued it, nothing like that. It's just like a thing that pops into your head. I know I like men. It's just like something that sometimes you just question as you're growing up. And also there was a time and age, I feel like in middle school, at least in my time, where people were just kissing all of their girlfriends. Now, I never did that, but it was more of a thing where they did it because they wanted to look hot in front of guys. Was that ever a thing for you guys? Girls were holding hands and they weren't lesbian and they weren't even into each other or anything like that. It wasn't even like a friendly type of thing. It was kind of like, ew, who's gonna think this is hot? You know what I mean? I don't know. Is it hard being with someone who doesn't share your beliefs? I would say it was hard for me to accept it in the beginning. I remember, I think what a lot of you don't know is like Dennis is a smart ass in a good way. He's very smart. He was gonna be an anesthesiologist. He went to school to do the whole doctor thing. He finished with molecular biology and biotech, like he double majored, like he's a smart ass guy. And obviously with a lot of science fields, people question more religion because it's more like evolution and stuff like that. So it was difficult at first, I'm not gonna lie. I just feel like it's his life, it's his path. I obviously wish the best for my husband. I pray over him. It's just in God's timing. It's not on me. Let's talk insecurities. First of all, I just want you to know, totally normal. I always grew up kind of thinking like the most secure women, you know, I'd obviously admire them, were just like they had no troubles at all. I often find that to be the opposite. They are the women that have gone through the most stuff in life and they have all this wisdom and life experience. How do you deal with being insecure? What's worked for me personally, I need to talk to someone. Talking to someone doesn't necessarily mean you have to open up to anyone, really, right? Talking to someone can be as easily as journaling. It is such a tough activity to actually get yourself to do. But once you do it, honey, you are opening up all of Oprah Winfrey's wisdom. That's what I will say, okay? I really, truly listen to myself. I write deep things. At times, it's even hard for me to vocalize it, but I find that writing things down is important. So number one, bringing awareness to that insecurity. So I was always insecure about my breasts, went through this whole breast thing, got breast implants, you know, got really sick, all that stuff. And then I was insecure about my decision about it. It was a huge struggle in my head. When you're insecure about something, it's all you think about. I feel vain and why am I like this? But one thing that someone once told me is just because your problem isn't as big as somebody else's, it doesn't mean that it's not valid and that it's not okay for you to feel that. That made me feel a lot better as well, because it's true, like we all live in our own little world. Yes, there are bigger issues out there, but hey, this affects you and hey, it is important. Bring awareness, talk to someone about it, and then just find ways to hopefully facilitate whatever that issue is. So for me personally, of course, it was my breast implant. So what would I do? Well, I went through the whole process. I removed them. I became healthier, but I did a lot of preparation beforehand to be able to see myself without my breast implants and still feel beautiful. Part of that journey, I've actually never talked about this on here. I would look at how women with smaller breasts would dress, because I always felt like I had been given an image of what a sexy woman would look like, which was always like a very low cut V and like great cleavage and such. And that was what I was programmed to think was beautiful. And so I had to reprogram my mind to say, oh my God, wait a second, she looks amazing. She also doesn't have a big chest. It's about reprogramming your mind to define beauty. Everyone is beautiful. My grandpa always used to say that, mijo, la belleza está en los ojos. That's such a beautiful thing when you're able to see beauty in every single person. I challenge you to really push those boundaries of just what society has told us is beautiful and about conforming to getting lip injection and getting Botox here and there. Age gracefully. Allow yourself to just grow. And hey, if you don't want that, that's okay. That's on your path. For those of you that do, kind of like myself, embrace it. Say about that. Oh my God, we're done. I love talking to you guys. This was so fun. Did you enjoy this video? If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below if you'd like to see a part 4 and maybe what topics we can talk about. But of course, I always ask you guys on Instagram. So if you're not already following me on there, that is where you can submit your questions. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to this channel. Hit that little bell. If you missed me before then, or you just want to text me and chat with me, here's my number right here. And here's my vlog channel. I love you guys. This was so fun. Thank you so much for being here with me. I don't think I ever say this enough, but I really appreciate your company. I appreciate the people that you are. I appreciate your opinions. I appreciate that you're different. I'm okay with that. I received a comment that it really got under my skin. On Instagram, I was talking about politics. Someone that follows me wrote back and they were like, Natalie, I can't believe you wrote this. I'm so disappointed. I've been following you for years. I think it's like petty of you and just stuff like that. And I looked at that and I said, you know, I'm not just a page about love and positivity. You cannot define me. I will continue to talk about love, positivity, self-care, all of that, and politics. Baby, I got a voice. I wish you nothing but the best. I truly do. With life and everything, I just wanted to say I'm not a perfect human being. I will make mistakes. I will upset you. Please never idolize me. Please never glorify me. I hope that we are both open enough to be able to work things out together. If not, then that's okay. I don't want to end this like on a sour note. I just want to say I love you guys. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate the people that you are. I appreciate you growing with me because this channel is different. It's not where it used to be because I'm not where I used to be. I'm in a different place in my life now. And I think a lot of the times I don't show that on this channel per se. I show it more on my vlog, but it's cool that you guys are along the ride with me. So I want to wish you an amazing day and I'll see you guys in the next one.